Now at 5, a few lingering snow flurries in central Indiana today, but one area of the state could see a bit more tonight. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking what's ahead.
It's a sad, sad day in the city when those of us who are passionate about the work of helping others do not or cannot feel safe in the service of the community.
Vowing to continue his work, community members gather to recognize a man who was shot and killed while doing the work he loved. Tonight, the legacy left behind by Mr. Johnny Purchase. Everyone counts. The effort beginning tonight to make sure those experiencing homelessness are counted so they can get the help they need.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
And now first at 5, after a weekend of snow showers, more snow is in the forecast tonight, but not for everyone. There is a winter weather advisory in southern Indiana. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us live with the specifics on what's ahead tonight. Kevin.
And thank you, Amanda. Happy Monday, everybody. We'll define south here for you right now. You can see the area shaded roughly from Sullivan to Bloomington to Greensburg south. A closer view takes you on in. Bedford, Seymour, Nashville, Columbus, all included in this from 7 o'clock tonight until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Looking at about an inch of snow. Could be some isolated higher amounts, but I think what happens is we'll see a little rain-snow mix at the beginning. I've focused to the west. You can see either side of the Mississippi River there, some rain to the east and snow just west of St. Louis. That's what will creep our way as we go through the evening hours with that light snow developing, maybe mixing with some rain south of Indy. Temperatures move very little, but critically they will be below freezing. That's why I think the advisory is in effect, just to watch out for slick conditions as a result of the light snow. There's the beginning. As we put this in motion, you see what happens by the time we get to 11 o'clock. And notice how this is staying south. Bloomington and Columbus kind of on the northern edge of that, and then should be departing fairly early during the day tomorrow. What are we left with after we break out of our pattern of daily snow showers? That's what we'll talk about here in just a couple minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Kevin. Tonight, there is a heightened state of security at the nation's capital ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on Wednesday. The unprecedented security measures come after a violent group of Trump supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol, and as law enforcement officials continue to monitor threats posed by domestic extremist groups to the swearing-in ceremony. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
With nerves already on edge, a security alert Monday morning sending people running through the halls of Congress. Turns out it was a small fire at a homeless camp about a mile from the U.S. Capitol. But it was another sign of the tension inside the nation's capital after the deadly insurrection on January 6th. New disturbing video shot by The New Yorker revealing just how determined the rioters, who've been described as domestic terrorists, were.
Defend your Constitution! Defend your liberty!
Some removing items from lawmakers' offices or taking pictures of congressional documents.
Gotta be something here we can use against.
Hunting for Vice President Mike Pence and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And ignoring orders from Capitol Police.
We're outnumbered. There's a million of us out there, and we are listening to Trump. You're the boss.
The FBI has now arrested dozens of Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol, including several with ties to law enforcement, the military, and extremist groups. Well-known New Mexico County Commissioner and founder of Cowboys for Trump, Coy Griffin, also arrested. Investigators still looking for 22-year-old Riley June Williams, a Pennsylvania woman accused of stealing a computer from Speaker Pelosi's office, allegedly with intentions to sell it to a Russian spy agency. Just 2 days from President-elect Joe Biden taking his oath of office, law enforcement officials leaving nothing to chance. Up to 25,000 National Guard troops will be stationed across the city. Security checkpoints and non-scalable fencing with razor wire already up.
We're here to protect the citizens of the United States just as much as we are the seat of our government.
Amid fears of a potential insider attack, the Army has been performing background checks on National Guard members involved in securing the Capitol.
But everybody joining the military is screened in, and for an event like this, you're screened out.
And a rehearsal for the inauguration had to be evacuated because of that security alert this morning. But officials say Biden was not there and there was no threat to the general public. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And Biden was not there in part because he was volunteering in what has become a national day of service in honor of the national holiday honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Biden and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, volunteered with Philabundance in Philadelphia. Philabundance is that area's largest hunger relief organization. It distributes food to 90,000 people a week. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and her husband took part in a National Day of Service event at Martha's Table in Washington, D.C. They helped fill bags with 10 pounds of fresh produce and other food items for D.C. neighbors. Harris also officially resigned from the U.S. Senate today to make way for becoming vice president on Wednesday. This is a copy of the resignation letter she sent to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Newsom has named Alex Padilla, California Secretary of State, to fill Harris's seat. And now back to the day of service. The Kennedy King Memorial Initiative here in Indianapolis is working today to collect money and supplies for back to in-person school preparedness kits. They will include masks, hand sanitizer, water bottles, and other supplies. The kits will be given to students in IPS and Indianapolis charter schools. IU Health, the Indianapolis Colts, and IUPUI are also part of the campaign. You can make a donation online between now and this Wednesday. Just go to the website on your screen, kennedykingindy.org. On a day we remember Martin Luther King and the important work he did for our nation, Indianapolis is also celebrating the life of a local hero, Mr. Johnny Purchase. Purchase worked as a mentor to young people in the community, helping lead them to a positive path. But the 60-year-old was killed last week, the victim of gun violence. Our Alyssa Donovan has those details.
This is where Mr. Johnny Purchase was shot and killed on Tuesday. Today, friends and family gathered to remember the work he did in the community.
It is hard to imagine losing a loved one to gun violence, but even harder to fathom losing a loved one to gun violence doing his job as a servant worker.
60-year-old Johnny Purchase, known as Mr. Johnny, worked at the Edna Martin Christian Center. That's where his celebration of life was held today. A life that was dedicated to serving the Martindale-Brightwood community.
He would go out and find young people who were going toward the darkness and put them on a better path.
The mentor also worked with Employ Indy as a re-engagement facilitator.
And that was one of those frontline individuals who connected with young people and shared with them his story, his wisdom, to encourage them to seize the opportunity that's in front of them. And he was good at it.
Purchase's son says his father worked hard to help connect at-risk youth with resources. He was doing just that work when he was shot and killed.
We want to make sure we continue to do what he was doing within the community. And if you can do anything, just try to save a life and keep his name alive and keep serving the community.
Friends, family, and law enforcement writing messages to Mr. Johnny and releasing them at the end of today's celebration of life. Notes of thanks and notes of promise to continue his mission.
It's not a defeat. Mr. Johnny went out on a victory, making a difference. He's going to be remembered for that.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
The murder of Mr. Johnny is still under investigation. If you have any details that may help the police, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And Metro Police continue their search for 2 suspects in a deadly shooting in a Southside gas station parking lot early Sunday morning. Take a close look at surveillance photos provided by police of the suspects. The shooting happened just before 3 a.m. Sunday at a Marathon gas station near South Keystone and East Troy Avenues. Investigators say the 2 suspects tried to rob 2 males in the parking lot and fatally shot one of them when they resisted. Both suspects then left the gas station in a light-colored 4-door sedan with tinted windows. The man who was killed has been identified by the Marion County coroner as 29-year-old Justin White. Call Metro Police homicide detectives if you have any information on this case. An effort is underway right now to learn more about the people in our area experiencing homelessness. CHIP, or the Coalition for Homelessness Intervention and Prevention, does a point-in-time count every year. Tonight, they will be gathering data from shelters about the number of people staying there. They also have special outreach teams that will be hitting the streets to help count and connect with those staying in tents or other unsheltered areas. Right now, it is too soon to tell if more people are experiencing homelessness due to the pandemic, but leaders say they hope to gather that information during the count. They also hope to see people taking advantage of extra resources that have been put in place due to the pandemic.
We have more sheltering options this year with some of the temporary hotels that have been set up. And there's been, a huge effort to connect with folks living unsheltered and try to get them to come inside. So we're hoping that we see more people seeking shelter this year and fewer people living unsheltered.
Outreach teams will be working to collect this data throughout the week. Results should be available late spring. And now to today's numbers in the fight to stop the spread of coronavirus in Indiana. Let's start with vaccinations. Remember, those 70 and older can sign up at ourshot.in.gov or call 211. As of this morning, more than 302,000 Hoosiers had received their first dose of the vaccine, and 63,500 people have received both doses and are fully vaccinated. 30 more Hoosiers have died with COVID. Those deaths occurred between Friday and yesterday. The overall total is closing in on 9,000. And about 2,500 more Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. The results all recorded yesterday. The NCAA is bringing all of March Madness to Indianapolis in March because of the pandemic. And to help out with their schedule, the state's boys basketball finals will be 1 week later. The IHSAA announcing on Monday that they are moving the state championship games back to Saturday, April 3rd. March 27th was the original date. Bankers Life Fieldhouse will be one of the venues for the NCAA tournament that weekend. The rest of the boys' tourney dates remain the same. Sectionals will begin the week of March 2nd. Still ahead on WRTV, turning to used when you can't get new. Demand for appliances is still high. The risks you need to consider if you decide to go with a used model so you don't waste your money. It's a little like Christmas for Pacers fans. Tickets are about to go on sale. What you need to know ahead of tomorrow. Kevin.
And Amanda, there's a spike in the temperature trend. We'll zero in on that and talk more about our snow for the southern half of the state tonight. Coming up.
Bonus earnings.
A reminder, if you live in Marion County, trash pickup is delayed by a day this week due to the MLK holiday. So if today is your regular trash day, it will be picked up tomorrow. Tuesdays will be picked up on Wednesday and so on through Saturday. Every trash pickup also slides a day. If you need a new refrigerator, washing machine, or other appliance, you could face a long wait these days, and that's why stores selling inexpensive used appliances could be a great option. But consumer reporter John Matarese warns about what can go wrong, so you don't waste your money.
It's tough finding refrigerators, ranges, and many appliances right now. That's why a used one may sound like a good option, but buyer beware. Stephanie Holly found a home for her children to grow up in.
And they're all dying to get in here.
With little money left, this single mom began looking for used appliances.
Posted an ad on the Free Cycle Network and got a free stove.
It went well until she bought this used HVAC system for heat and air.
And this is the AC unit.
It was a returned, almost new model from a nonprofit building supply store.
They said $700, so we went back the next day, bought it.
But her installer noticed pieces missing.
The wiring had been cut, as you can see.
A heating and cooling company quoted more than $2,000 to fix it.
It was three things wrong with it. Mainly the control board.
But when Stephanie contacted the store, she learned she was over the 30-day return period by 4 days. Now, used appliances can be a great option if money is really tight or if you can't find something because of the appliance shortage. But if you're buying used, it's key to get some sort of guarantee that the item is going to work. The Consumer Guide Angie's List says used appliances can be fine, but says don't buy used water heaters, air conditioners, or furnaces. It says they often require expensive repairs, as Stephanie learned.
Yes. It was a new working order, everything. No, not the case.
Bottom line, before you buy a used appliance, ask how many days you have to return it and be sure to test it before then so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese, WRTV.
And a reminder for Pacers fans, the first limited tickets go on sale tomorrow to several upcoming games. A limited number of tickets for home games January 24th through March 4th will go on sale tomorrow. These are the first games of the season to allow fans. Sales will be limited to roughly 1,000 for those first 2 games. The team will consider gradual increases for games after that. Currently, the Marion County Health Department will only allow 25% capacity. That's around 4,500 people at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. There will also be extra safety precautions in place. Fans must complete an online health screening prior to arrival and show confirmation before entering the field house. Face masks are required. There will be pod seating to keep groups separated. Tickets will be all mobile. There will be no cash transactions inside the field house. Again, tickets will be sold online and at the field house box office weekdays from noon to 5 starting tomorrow. Some other tickets are also in high demand. Lottery tickets, despite the number of players and the huge jackpots, there still has not been a winner in the Mega Millions or Powerball jackpots. That means tomorrow's Mega Millions jackpot is up to a whopping $850 million. And the Powerball jackpot is not too shabby either. Wednesday's prize is up to $730 million. A lot of kids were not in school today due to the King holiday, so a lot of them and their families hit the slopes in southeastern Indiana at Perfect North Slopes in Lawrenceburg. A very busy day today at Perfect North, from skiing to snowboarding to tubing. The runs and lifts were on the go. And they're still open right now until 9:30 tonight. The park notes that they've had large crowds this weekend. They say face coverings are required indoors and whenever you can't be properly distanced outdoors. That includes while in lift lines, taking a lesson, and while snow tubing. And Kevin, the park noted on its website they had a light snowfall yesterday, but could they get some more tonight?
I think they will. Yes, not a lot, but an inch, but temperatures below freezing will allow them to make some more snow too. Skiing for me, I'd opt out of snowboarding or tubing probably. I'd give skiing a try still, despite my age. 5.4 inches of snow for the season. Remember on Friday when we were talking, we were at 2.7, but we've kind of made our way to about 5.5 inches with the persistent snow showers that we had through the weekend. And then tonight, it will be in the southern portion of the state. All right, our view to the west there is temperatures are in the low 30s, 33 in Indy, 31 in Kokomo, a little warmer as you can see down in Bloomington. The spike in temperatures will come Thursday. Temperatures into the 40s. It's brief, but noticeable, then will cool down as we go into the weekend. Overall, this will be a fairly quiet week. We've got a couple different systems to keep our eye on. First is tonight. Again, Sullivan and Bloomfield to Bloomington, Columbus, over to Greensburg south, includes Bedford and Seymour, the advisory. And there is the moisture that we'll watch as it streams to the east and temperatures fall through the evening and nighttime hours. Any rain-snow mix likely changes to all snow, and that's in the advisory area where we do expect up to an inch. Isolated spots could have 2 inches. Okay, 9 o'clock to 11. See the pink and blue? That's what I'm talking about as far as the rain-snow mix. That's Sullivan, Bloomfield, Bloomington to Seymour south. Keep going through the overnight, a little more on the snow side at 1 a.m., starting to shift south as we go 3 to about 7 a.m. and then it's off to the races into eastern Kentucky and Ohio. Temperatures cold. They'll be in the low 20s to start your day tomorrow, and with a west wind, it will feel colder. You'll definitely need to dress in layers. 33 or 34 with a mixture of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon hours tomorrow. Again, the west wind will be 10 to 20 miles per hour through the day, keeping it rather raw, but sunshine helps everything, doesn't it? Any of those flurries in the morning south will dissipate, and then we'll be left with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Tomorrow night, so through the day tomorrow, you can see we've got sunshine. Tomorrow night into the overnight hours, another quick hitting system may bring some light snow showers to central and northern Indiana, but that is gone by the time you wake up on Wednesday. Forecast shows that spike in temperatures for Thursday. We're all the way up to 42. Friday, much cooler but dry. Saturday, 33 and dry. There'll be a chance of a wintry mix on the Sunday, and then by Monday, 42 degrees with a better chance for a rain-snow mix across a big chunk of central Indiana. Amanda.
You have to be at least 35 to run for president, but not for a county office in Kentucky. We will introduce you to the country's youngest elected official and what change he hopes to bring about.
Payments, no interest for 12 months.
With our eyes on the nation's capital this week and the transition of power, another historic moment from the 2020 elections might have gone unnoticed. In central Kentucky, a teenager 61 years younger than the incoming president was sworn into office last week as the country's youngest elected official. Meet 17-year-old Landon Stadnick. That's right, he's 17. The high school student is now the Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor in Scott County. That's a little north of Lexington. He earned a spot on the board after running twice. He's less than a week into his political career and has already faced pushback from the public for his age and experience level. He says he's the youngest in his office by a decade or so. However, he sees this as an opportunity to switch up the current political narrative.
When I was 8 years old, I saw politics through rose-colored glasses. I thought people were doing, or these politicians are doing what was best for them, what's best for their people. So as my generation progresses to be able to step into these roles, to sort of return back to what my 8-year-old self saw, the utopian idea of politics, instead of this dystopian world that we've fallen into now.
Stadnick's term lasts 4 years. During that time, he plans to go to college, but he promises to balance his responsibilities to both his constituents and his classes. Still ahead on the news at 5:30, traffic alert for a change that's scheduled to take effect tonight. What you need to know so you can plan ahead and not get caught off guard.